We are now starting to see more and more research suggesting that a concussion, because it is a brain injury, actually causes changes in the wiring of the brain.
The largest study to date concluded that 110 of 111 former NFL players who had died and donated their brains had CTE.
I've had times where I've been hit immediately and I've seen stars like in the cartoons.
A powerful blow to your head, neck, or upper body might cause your brain to move back and forth against the inner walls of your skull.
For Iron Mike, TV interviews became impossible.
No, I'm talking about... No, I'm just trying to find... Yeah, well, trauma, everybody went through trauma as a kid. I'm not saying I was different than that. I'm just saying... the things we do to one another, okay? Hell, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just tired and confused right now. That's why I say I can't really, I can't say it the way I want to say it. I could say I could answer this real easy at other times, but right now I'm just tired.
Mike Webster would play in the NFL for 17 seasons. Upon his death at the age of 50, Webster would be the first player diagnosed with CTE. There's a theme. Repeated blows to the head over and over again.
I've been hit where I've seen black spots. I've been hit where I see two of you. So I see you're here and you're here. And I have to try to put you back together.
Former players like Thomas Jones reviewed their history. We have seen medical professionals like Dr. Brian Suterer discuss why Dana White's new power slap is dangerous for competitors, backing neuroscientists and concussion experts as warnings. Yet one sport that seems to continue to fly under the radar in regards to head injuries is the world's game.
This new study looks at head trauma in high school sports. Boys football have the highest rate of concussion, 10 per every 10,000 practices or games. Girls soccer was second at a rate of 8 per 10,000.
There have been studies as well on the subject. In 1998, Neurology.org conducted a study between 53 pro soccer players in the Netherlands and a control group of 27 elite non-contact sport athletes. The results were as follows. The soccer players exhibited impaired performances in memory, planning, and visuo-perceptual processing when compared with control subjects. Among professional soccer players, performance on memory, planning, and visuo-perceptual tasks were inversely related to the number of concussions incurred in soccer and the frequency of heading the ball. One lawsuit even helped change the way youth soccer operates. The United States Soccer Federation adopted initiatives to address head injuries that sets strict limits on youth players heading the ball. Even with all this data, there have been calls for going further to protect participants of youth sports. Abroad, the soccer leagues of England, Scotland, and Ireland decided in 2020 that there will be no headers for players under 11 years of age and only limited training from 12 to 16 years of age. In competitions, however, headers aren't banned because only few headers are played in matches in this age group. Thomas Talavage, professor of biomedical engineering at Purdue University, would tell The Guardian of the ban, "I think there is enough evidence to suggest that in sports with collisions, there are links with both long and short-term brain injuries. I think most parents and coaches accept the ban because they think, why put everyone at risk when you don't really have to?" Talavage carried out a study on female high school soccer players and found they showed a risk of low-level brain injuries through heading the ball. Now in Sydney, Australia, they are taking it a step further. Queenwood Girls School, located in the city's northern beaches, confirmed the school would not allow students to play the contact sport. In a statement to The Australian, Principal Elizabeth Stone said there were decisive factors behind the move, including growing evidence that adolescents are at a greater risk of injury and that females experience concussions more frequently than males. This meant our students, teenage girls, were in the highest risk category, she said. At Queenwood, we loved everything about AFL except for the risk of trauma to the brain. Professor Owen White, adjunct clinical professor of neuroscience at Monash University, told 3AW evidence of risk for children is a bit light on. There's a lot that can be done by changing the rules to reduce the likelihood of significant head injury. So here's my takeaway. Heading should not be allowed until a certain age. I'll leave that to the medical professionals. Obviously, there are going to be differences, and many will point them out with how we opened up this piece, with showing Thomas Jones, Mike Webster, what have you. I understand there are differences between how soccer is played and how American football is played. Let me just be clear. A concussion is a concussion, no matter how it happens. These are the real effects of traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs, which could lead to cases of CTE. We know that this is occurring across various sports, but one that really hasn't received a lot of recognition is the devastating lingering effects from people who play soccer and head the ball. Do I think that this is going to the extreme in Sydney to ban an entire league? Maybe. But what I do think is this. If a kid cannot be put in a position to have a TBI when they are playing youth sports, it's hard to argue against it. Considering, and I'm watching a press conference with Roger Goodell, and they're talking about concussions, considering what we have seen with many NFL players, from Dave Duerson, Junior Seau, no kid should suffer a concussion when they're playing youth sports, period.